and welcome to day 3 of the MailChimp Masterclass with the WordPress Workspace. In today's tutorial guide, I'm going to walk you through how you can brand your sign-up forms. So the first step is we're going to log into our MailChimp account. Once we're logged into our account, we're going to head on over to Lists, and then we are going to select the list that we want to brand. So the one we want to brand is the one we created on day 2, which was our SEO masterclass with the WordPress Workspace. Okay, so once we're on this page, we're going to head on over to sign up forms here, and then we're going to select the general forms, which includes the option of building, designing, and translating your sign up forms and your response emails. So you've got an option of clicking on the general forms here or the select button here. This page is where we're going to amend the branding for your sign-up forms, and there are several different sign-up forms and response emails that you can amend. Now, you cannot get your branding 100% on MailChimp, but it's good to get it as close as possible. So just starting off, you'll notice a drop-down box here, and it's set to sign-up form. And if you scroll down a little bit, okay, then you'll actually see that's exactly what the sign-up form looks like. So if I provide someone with this link here, they will get a page that looks like this with an image, SEO masterclass, a couple of details, and a request for them to put in their first and their last names, email address, and whether they were part of the MailChimp masterclass. If I scroll up again, I can click on the drop-down box and I can say, okay, I'd love to also see the confirmation thank you page that my customers or readers or newsletter subscribers get. So you have an option as well here of a confirmation thank you page being redirected to a different URL, or of them actually receiving this email here. And basically, again, it's an image, the title of my newsletter, and it just says subscription confirmed, and that's about it. Continue to our website or manage your preferences. Now, some of these are a bit boring. Of course, yours might be a little, it won't have the images at the moment because I've added those in. So I'm going to show you how you can add in those images and ask your signups for more information. So let's start with the sign up form, and we'll go to the sign up form here at the top. And you'll notice there's a tick box just underneath, and it says, let the subscribers pick the email format. Now, your plain text and HTML formats, obviously the HTML, they'll see all your nice images and colors and everything. Plain text will be very boring. So it's up to you whether you can allow your readers to choose the formatting that they want. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see there's a link here, and that's the link you can share on Facebook or Twitter or any other platform, and that will direct people straight to this below sign up form. Now we're going to scroll down and we'll notice there's 3 different tabs at the top. The first is building your form, the second is design it, and then translate it. So when I'm saying forms, they're also emails. So remember, it's forms and response emails we're working with here. So you can build them, you can design them, and you can translate them. Okay, so let's just scroll down and look at this build it. So this is our sign up form, and basically what I've got is an image and the title of my newsletter. Now, what we can do is we can remove all this and we can just use an image, or we can edit it. Now, if, for example, you wanted to use an image like I've done and keep the title, you can just click Edit. And what I've simply done is gone into this editor at the back end and clicked on the image button and selected an image and put it into my sign-up form. Now, this editing background is very similar to a blog post on WordPress, so it should be quite straightforward for you to navigate. So once you're finished, you're just going to click Save and Close. And then you can scroll down and you can see you can actually amend the details here. So it's just like an opening paragraph that you'd like to add in of exactly what the sign-up form is for. Then scroll down and you can see now I'm requesting that people put in their first and their last name, their email address, and whether they were part of the MailChimp masterclass or not. So other things you can add in, if you look to the right-hand side over here, are text, numbers. You might want to get a person's telephone number. You might want to get their birthday, their address, there's phone as well, and their website. So what you can simply do is, let's say website, and you just click on it, and as you can see, website has been added to the bottom. And if I want to, I can come over here and I can amend the field label to say, please pop in your blog address, just out of interest to see who's been using my website. And we can also say, yes, this is a required field, or no, it's not. And then you can just click save. Okay, if you don't like that box that you've just added, simply just hover over it, so click on it, and you can just click on the negative button here. So I'm going to actually do it for this one, and there's the negative button, and we'll just type in delete. And there we go. Okay, so as you can see on my sign up form, there's actually a little button at the bottom and it says teach me something else. Now, okay, the wording is not so great there, but basically what yours would say is subscribe now. And a bit later on in this video, I'll show you exactly where you can change that button. For now, let's go on over to the colors and the fonts of the actual form. So if I go to design it, I can see it comes up with a background, and the background is a gray color. So if you have your hex codes of your branding, you can add them in here. Alternatively, you can go through the color picker and put in your red, green, and blue colors, or you can just choose a color. There we go. And you'll notice my background has changed. Lovely. Quite happy with that. And then we can go on to the next tabs, so the header. And basically what you can see is when you go to the background, you'll notice a red line that goes around everything, and that's basically what you will be editing. If I click on the header here, the red line goes around this section. And basically I can say, okay, font size is just a little bit too big. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and the margin at the bottom is a little bit too big as well. So let's change that to 20 pixels. Margin is just the spacing. Okay, and let's go to the outer wrapper and have a look at that. So outer wrapper is there, and at the moment it's got nothing. Let's make it all white. So I know white is that. And there we go, it changes. It's starting to look a little bit better. Now, this is the page that we've been working on. Now we want to actually look at the body of our form. So the foreground color is white. We'll keep that. Default text. Okay, so you unfortunately in MailChimp don't have much of a selection of text. You've got Arial, Comic Sans. Please don't use Comic Sans. Georgia, and a couple of other ones. So let's just change the font. And as you can see, it has changed there. And this is basically just the default text of this section here. The labels are in a different section, which I'll also show you in a minute. And you can change the font size. Let's make it a little bit bigger. That's a little bit too big. And we can change the color again. Let's go for some color here. Nice blue color. And the spacing below and above, that's the padding, needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so this is the padding within the whole box. And I do think 20 was actually just fine. Okay. So let's go on to your link style. So if, for example, anywhere in your form or anything, you linked to perhaps a PDF guide or something else, then that would come up in a different color, and this is the color that it would come up as. Let's move on to the form section. So this is looking at the actual form, and we're first looking at the buttons, and my color is the orange, and let's just change it to the yellow just so you can see. And basically there it is, yellow. And again, you can see that there's the red section that has highlighted it. And there's your button hovered color, so that is when someone puts their mouse over the button, it's going to change to the gray color. Field labels are, as you can see, the highlighted section. So let's put that as Georgia again to keep it in line with the branding above. And I think it's a little bit too big. Let's change that to 14. Perfect. And field text. So this is the text that people are going to type in here. Okay, we've gone back to build it. Let's just go back to text. And I'm going to keep that with as Georgia as well, keeping in line with branding. Okay, required. Okay, text color. As you can see, okay, this is the required, and a required thing is not showing at the moment because I have hid the visibility. So if I click show, have a look down, and you'll notice there's a little asterisk after the field labels that are required. So that orange color is not so nice. Let's change it to pink. And there we go. Okay. Again, required legend. It's hidden at the moment. We can say show. And we can scroll down and you've got, it says indicates required. So it's just showing people exactly what does that asterisk mean. Then you've got some help text. And the help text is probably not going to come up here because we don't have any fields or anything that are using it. And if you have any errors, it's going to come up in bold. I'm going to keep it as normal, and I'm going to make it a different color. Let's make it a nice light blue. There we go. Okay, so basically that's how you would then design your form and link it in with your branding. Let's just carry on to our fourth tab, which is our monkey rewards. So monkey rewards is the little MailChimp that comes at the bottom here. If it's a free account, it has to include this little monkey rewards badge, and you can actually align that. So let's put that in the center. There it is there. And let's see which other images are available to us. It's nice to keep it simple. So I am going to choose, this one looks quite small. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's good. We'll keep it at that one. Okay. So now let's move on to the last tab, which is your Translate tab. We're going to click on that. This Translate tab is basically to set the language of your forms. So the first little checkbox here is to auto-translate based on a user's browser, default browser language. So you can click that if you'd like. You can set your default language, obviously text direction, depending on the language would change. And then scrolling down here, you'll notice that there are just some, these are not field labels, but they are default wording that is used in MailChimp. So for example, let's just have a little scroll down, okay? And so for example, if you're already subscribed to a list, it will pop up and it will say is already subscribed to list. So maybe you might want to change it, and I've changed mine to say rock on, you're already part of this list, why not check your emails just in case. Then we can scroll down and you know, you can amend the errors below. Oops, there's something going wrong here, have a check, you might have missed out something. You can add those in. And then one of the last ones is, I just wanted to show you where you can change that button. So I've got teach me something else here. If I scroll up, there we go, subscribe to list. So wherever you see subscribe to list, you can actually amend and say, yes, please, I want to learn about SEO. and then you can click Save Translation Settings. And if you scroll down, you'll notice on your form that the button has changed. And that just ties it in a little more than keeping it as subscribe now. It's boring. Let's, jazz it up, make it in the same kind of tone that you speak in. Okay, so it's quite a lengthy video, this, and there's quite a lot more to learn in terms of branding your forms and your response emails. But as you work on it slowly, you will get to grips with it, and you'll be able to brand them pretty quickly. Okay, great. Thanks for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you on day 4, where I'll be teaching you how to link your sign-up form to your website. Bye.